Don't you dare throw that banana peel in the trash. What you're holding on to is one of the richest natural sources of potassium you can put on a garden. And today I'm going to show you how my family has turned that so-called waste into a liquid feed that gets plants covered in flowers and fruit. Here's where the real work happens. Take your banana peels and cut them down into small pieces. I usually go about an inch or so, sometimes smaller if I've got the patience for it that day. Small pieces mean more surface area, and that means the minerals work their way out into the water a good deal faster than if you left the peel whole and just dropped it in. I've tried it both ways over the years, and chopping it up always gives me a stronger brew in less time. Once they're cut, drop those pieces into a clean glass jar. A mason jar is what I use, but any clean glass jar with a lid will do the job just fine. Pour in about 2 cups of clean water. Call it 500 milliliters if you like to measure that way. Give it a light stir so the pieces settle down into the water instead of floating on top. Now, why does this work in the first place? That potassium sitting in the peel is what builds a strong root system underneath your plant. It keeps your flowering even across the whole plant instead of a few scattered blooms here and there. And it brings out real sweetness in tomatoes and peppers when the fruit finally comes in. Potassium is one of those minerals that doesn't get talked about as much as nitrogen. But in my experience, it's just as important, especially once your plant moves past the leafy growing stage and starts putting energy into flowers and fruit. Now let it sit. Give it at least 6 hours, but if you can let it rest overnight, all the better. I usually start mine in the evening and let it work through the night. Then it's ready first thing in the morning. You'll know it's ready when that water turns a light brown color, like a weak tea. That color change tells you the minerals have made their way out of the peel and into the water, where your plant can use them. Before you use it, strain it through a clean cloth or a fine mesh strainer and get every bit of solid material out. Don't skip this step, even though it might feel like an extra bit of work you don't need. Leftover peel bits sitting in the soil can break down poorly, and that can invite mold or bacteria right around your plant's roots, which is the last thing you want that close to something so tender. Straining it keeps the nutrients pure and lets the roots take them up right away, without anything sitting there rotting in the dirt. Before you water, loosen up the top layer of soil around the base of the plant. I just use my fingers or a small hand fork for this, nothing fancy. Soil can crust over on the surface, especially after a hot, dry stretch, and that crust will make the water run right off the top instead of soaking down where the roots are actually working. Loosen it up a little, let some air get down in there, and then pour the banana water straight onto that softened soil, nice and slow so it has time to soak in rather than run off to the side. Do this once a week, steady, and you're giving that plant a clean, honest source of energy for growing better fruit. Stay consistent with it, and in a couple weeks you'll start seeing more flower buds setting, going on to fill out into good, healthy fruit. That's not overnight magic. Anybody who tells you a bit of banana water will transform your garden overnight is stretching the truth. What it is steady feeding doing what it's meant to do, week after week, the same way my father fed his tomato beds and his father before him. A word of caution though, since I'd rather you do this right than do it fast. Don't let that banana water sit around for days on end before you use it. Once it's strained and ready, use it up within a day or two, because it will start to sour if it sits too long, and sour water isn't doing your plants any favors. And don't be tempted to pour it on too heavy, thinking more is better. A cup or 2 per plant, right at the base, is plenty. Overdoing it won't speed anything along. It'll just waste what you made. Give it a try and let me know in the comments how your garden comes along. Now, here's another one most folks pour straight down the drain without a second thought. And if you know how to use it right, it can change your whole garden over time. This is coffee grounds, and it's something growers have relied on for a long time without much fuss made about it. It's not some new trick, just an old one that's fallen out of use as folks reach for bagged fertilizer instead. Coffee grounds carry a fair bit of nitrogen, along with some magnesium and phosphorus mixed in. Nitrogen especially is what pushes that deep green, healthy leaf growth you want to see on a young plant. But here's the part folks skip. Dry your grounds out first before you use them. Spread them out thin on a tray or a bit of newspaper and let them sit until they're properly dry, not damp. Wet grounds left sitting will turn sour and mouldy before they ever do your garden a lick of good, and that defeats the whole purpose. Once dried, take 2 tablespoons of the grounds and put them in a clean glass jar. Add about 1 litre of water and make sure it's room temperature, not hot, not cold. This detail matters more than folks think. Hot water can break down the good minerals before your plant ever sees them. And it'll also harm the beneficial microorganisms living in that water that help your soil along in the long run. Room temperature keeps everything intact and working the way it should. Stir it well and let it rest a full 24 hours. That waiting period gives the nutrients time to dissolve properly into the water, so when your plant's roots take it up, they're getting it in a clean liquid form they can absorb right away, instead of something they have to work to break down first. After the 24 hours have passed, strain out every last bit of sediment with a sieve or clean cloth. Same careful way we did the banana water. This keeps things clean, keeps mold from forming down around the roots, and keeps pests from gathering where you don't want them hanging about. Loosen the soil around the base, same as before. Then apply your coffee tea about once a week, right on that loosened ground. When it soaks in, it forms a bit of a protective layer down around the roots. And here's something worth knowing. That strong smell and mild acid in the coffee works as a natural barrier against slugs and ants. They don't much care for it, and you get a bit of pest protection along with your feeding. No chemicals needed for that at all. Stay with it for about a month, watering once a week without fail, and you'll see a weak, pale seedling fill out into a strong, healthy, deep green plant with good, sturdy stems. That's the kind of result you get from feeding your soil right, patiently, instead of reaching for something out of a bottle at the store. It won't happen in a week, and I wouldn't want you to expect that. But give it the time it needs, and it'll show you. Now, one thing I'll caution you on here too. Don't go overboard with the coffee grounds like some folks do, thinking if a little is good, a lot must be better. Too much coffee, even in liquid form, can make your soil more acidic than most vegetables care for. That's why I stick to 2 tablespoons in 1 litre of water and leave it at that, once a week. If you've got tomatoes, peppers or leafy greens, this amount works well. But keep an eye on your plant as you go. If the leaves start looking pale or the growth slows down instead of picking up, ease off for a week or 2 and let the soil settle back to where it should be. Gardening is as much about watching your plants and listening to what they're telling you as it is about following any set of steps. If this was useful to you, give both of these a try in your own garden and tell me how it goes in the comments below. 2 things most folks throw away without a second thought, turned into honest plant food the old-fashioned way. And if you want more of this kind of straightforward, no-nonsense gardening know-how, stick around. There's plenty more where this came from.